What's up, guys? Gonna be talking about fundamental analysis today, which is how you measure the strength of each country's economy or their currency. It's gonna give you a major advantage when you're trading pairs that are basically fighting against each other. And so, fundamental analysis is the study of each country's economy so you know how strong that currency is at that moment. Fundamental analysis. It's one of the two ways you're going to analyze the price movement or the trend when you're making trades on the Forex market, and that's how you make your money. So there are probably a few ways that you can do fundamental analysis. The most popular way is monitoring the news, and I do not mean the news on TV channel 6. We're talking about economic Forex news, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in just a second. But the second way I do fundamental analysis is by using a strength meter, which will basically give me a number from 0 to 10, 10 being the strongest, and 0 being the weakest, to tell me what the strength of the currency is. So let's start with the news. We got some news down here. So when you're looking at the economic calendar, you're going to see a list of news releases. And there are multiple sources of this economic calendar. I use my FX book, but there's Forex Factory, Daily FX. Just about every Forex site has an economic calendar. So what you want to do, first of all, is make sure you have all of the countries for currencies that you trade highlighted to show up. And the next thing you're going to do is monitor the news that's coming up or that hasn't occurred yet. Some will show you exactly what time in a certain time bracket or time zone, what time the news is supposed to release. My FX book will actually just give you a countdown and tell you when it comes out. But you're going to take a look at which country the news is coming out for and whether it's medium, high, or low priority. Now, most traders will tell you they're only looking for red folders or high priority news because that's what's going to affect the price the most. But in my opinion, you still want to pay attention to medium priority news. You might not make your trading decisions based on it, but keep it in mind. High priority news, though, if this is coming out, you want to stay away from trading the pairs with the country involved in that high priority news unless you're going to catch it in live time. Because what you can do, especially if there's now speeches, you'll see speeches here. They have no previous numbers, no way to track a speech. So if you see a speech coming up, you definitely want to stay away from trading the pair because there's no telling what kind of effect that speech is going to have. But something like jobless claims, unemployment percentages, interest rates, things of that nature that can be tracked by numbers, you're going to have a previous, sorry about that, I got an alert for a flash flood, but they're going to give you a previous number, they're going to give you what's predicted to happen, and then they're going to give you the actual news once that time runs out. So when the actual news is better than the prediction, you can expect that country to be doing well. When the actual news is worse than the prediction and worse than the previous news, you can expect that country's currency to be doing bad at that point in time. Now, whether the actual is better than the prediction is going to be based on what kind of news it is. So of course, interest rates, if they're higher, that's good. But unemployment rate, if it's higher, then that's bad. So what my FX book does to make it simple is it highlights the actual news in either red or green based on whether that was good news or not. So if you see a green number in the actual column, you can expect that country's currency to be doing well, and you will want to match it against a country that had bad news, for instance. So if I was watching the news this day, Euro came out with good news and GBP came out with bad news, even though this is low priority, medium priority, and then the Euro has some bad news as well. So it can be hard to judge. That's why a lot of traders would just simply stay away from high priority news. But say this was the only news to come out, the good news for the Euro, and there was bad news for GBP, you will want to trade Euro GBP going up, because Euro would be stronger than GBP and Euro would be the primary on that pair. So that's how you use the news in order to gauge the strength of a currency. Strong currencies with good news, match them against the weak countries with bad news. It's that simple. And number two, which is the strength meter. This is the application I like to use. There are multiple sources of the strength meter you can find online or on apps on your mobile devices, but this is my favorite. It's been very accurate. And what a strength meter is going to do is it's going to list each country, and then it's going to give you a number from 0 to 10, 0 being weak, 10 being strong, how that country's currency is doing at that point in time. You're going to have multiple time frames. Some strength meters will give you multiple time frames. Some will just give you 1 meter in general. Maybe they're going off the daily. Maybe they're going off the 15-minute. Who knows? That's why I like it broken down into multiple time frames. And when all of these time frames agree with each other, I know it's high probability of that being very accurate information. So if I have JPY low all the way across the board like it is here in this picture, and I have GBP high, or at least higher, and doing very well here on the 4 hour, as well as very well here on the daily, we have GBP strong and JPY weak. So the pair GBP JPY would be trending in an upwards direction. So let's take a look at the strength meter in live time here. So make sure you guys are combining your fundamental analysis along with your technical analysis. It's going to increase your accuracy as far as winning trades versus losing trades. Of course, that's going to increase your profits, boost your confidence, raise your lot size, etc., etc. Before you know it, you'll be replacing whatever your current active income is with trading profits. And of course, that's the goal. So appreciate you guys' time checking out the video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel down here if you haven't done so yet. I'll be creating a lot more of this content. Hope this helps you collect some pips. Happy trading.